Oh hi, I didn't see you there. I'm Miles Donald, and I play for Clarity Gaming Academy. I'm 19 years old. I'm actually the team captain. No big deal. I've been playing StarCraft 2 more or less since the release back in 2010. Started off playing fairly casually between the three races. I was not very good at the game. Um, but just over, or actually rather just under 2 years or so, I kind of started to make the move towards sucking less. And somewhere along the lines, I settled on Protoss, my race of choice. As for why I made that choice, I don't particularly recall. Most people play Protoss usually say, well, okay, I play Protoss in Brood War, or, same with potentially the other races. I actually didn't really play Brood War. Um, Go ahead and crucify me. Um, but I settled on Protoss, and well, I mean, lucky me, it's pretty good. Come April 2012, if we're speaking time dates, joined a team called Team Nightmares. Some people might remember them from the North American scene. Um, I wasn't that good at the time. I believe I joined as part of the B team, hoping to work towards the A team in some decent time. I was kind of improving pretty well at that point. But then the team died, so that kind of ended those hopes. So then I moved on to a new startup team called Triumph Esports. Some people probably haven't heard of them either. And that was going pretty good for a while. That was near the end of 2012, near the end of Wings of Liberty. But that stagnation at the end of Wings of Liberty really killed that team too. So by the time the beta was wrapping up, StarCraft was going on the up, leading up to Heart of the Swarm, but the team was, and I was kind of without a team of any sort by the time the game was releasing. I was actually Grandmaster in the beta, uh, which I think was okay. Near the end, there were lots of Koreans. Oh, I remember all the Koreans. That was those were fun times. But so I became fairly teamless after the beta was wrapping up. Um, so I kind of started to look around, um, talking to Alex Garfield, Jason Lake, but they weren't really cutting it. So I heard about this team, Clarity Gaming. They seemed pretty okay. They were starting up this academy, seemed pretty cool. Um, and they had a pretty good offer. So I, you know, made the move to join them. And here I am. That was back in April, I believe. No money is rolled in yet, but they did give me this shirt. It's a very nice shirt, and I assume the money is coming soon. Um, Hopefully. And now to transition into so that's a brief summary of my StarCraft career so far. Um, and now if I could transition to you know some a brief summary of my personal life of sorts. I live in Ontario, Canada, near Toronto. That is also my place of my birth, so I've been here all my life so far. Not really that long, actually. As I said, I'm 18, so I'm starting university this fall, actually, at UIT. That's probably an anagram that means nothing to most people. I'm going into information technology, networking, and information technology security. Oh, a very exciting field. Uh, and um, Wait a minute. We don't have sponsors. Anyway, what was I saying? Right, university. So I'm starting university. And obviously that has a pretty big impact on a StarCraft 2 player's career. I'm actually rather hopeful of my ability to balance the two. Um, I'll either succeed or crash and burn in a spectacular fashion. Either will be entertaining, I think. And that's obviously fairly modified my goals for StarCraft in the next year or so. Um, I was actually hoping on, going pro, etc., etc. Taking a year off to go pro. Um, I'm actually already a year late starting university, so of course that obviously wasn't as favorable with the folks, with the parents. I don't know, whatever people call their parents. But at the same time, that was still what I wanted to do. But I live in North America, so obviously that would have been a very, very stupid thing to do. On top of how it may already be perceived as stupid to to forego education for a StarCraft career when you're not already, terribly successful. So it's obviously kind of limited my goals in terms of StarCraft 2. I was kind of hoping to do something more, but at the same time, I still think I'll be able to do fairly well in the scene over the year. Hopefully, you'll see more of me. I guess my major goal would be to attend a major tournament, a major event. Um, Hopefully there's actually going to be some of those in North America, or else I should have the opportunity to be doing some traveling over the year, and also, come the break. Um, I've actually got a good number of opportunities to do a good number of things, which may include going to Korea, because I like Korea, not only for StarCraft. I guess that's a less StarCraft motivated thing, because why would you just? I mean, you don't just show up in Korea and suddenly play GSL or WCS, whatever the hell it is now. um, so that's generally my goals. You know, be fairly decently ranked on Grandmaster. Playing some online cups. Um, and contribute to the scene. I put out replay packs. I did a fairly in-depth replay pack thread recently, so I'm definitely going to want to continue that. Streaming, I think streaming. I'm not sure, how university will impact that, but we'd definitely like to keep streaming. Maybe write some guides on Team Liquid. I always wanted to do that for a while. So just a good balance of playing, practicing, and also some community stuff, and hopefully going to a big event. I guess maybe the big dream is to go to a DreamHack. The big DreamHack, um, which isn't actually that far fetched. But so that's about it for my immediate goals. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, I know what you're thinking. Who is this guy, and why should I care? And that's a very good point. Somewhat rude, but it's still a valid point. So, if I may segue into talking about something that may have more widespread appeal, and I'll keep it short. I just like to briefly talk about my favorite player and how he's kind of relevant. And that would be Grubby. You may have seen him recently lose every map in his group at WCS, but that's not the point. And I guess, Grubby, you big Warcraft 3 legend. I didn't play Brood War, I didn't play Warcraft 3 either, so I'm not going to claim to be the biggest Grubby fan. I haven't been following him for 10 years, as some people probably have. But, he really has been a really good role model, influence, inspiration, etc. throughout his time in StarCraft 2. He kind of started mediocre, admittedly, kind of slowly climbed his way up, and throughout the whole time he's had such a great attitude, and, at think it would be in every player's best interest to mirror that attitude as best they can, myself included. Um, and now he's in the top 16 of WCS. Obviously, I really hope everyone saw the WCS Europe finals. Him beating MVP to get to the top eight, beating Vortex, etc., to get to the World Finals. All very brings a tear to a glass eye. But no, so I just wanted to, briefly mention where I may draw some inspiration from in terms of my favorite player, Grubby. How'd I get over there? So now I'd like to maybe just briefly talk about the Clarity Academy. What's the Clarity Academy all about? Why is it any good? I'd say it's pretty good. It's nice to have a team with good management to back you. And also, Clarity Academy's been trying something, fairly new. We do classes, kind of like structured classes about various things and how to succeed in esports, and it's kind of seen as like a, building up a player's potential into actually being a true professional. Whether or not that's had or will have any success, that's the jury's out on that one. Anyways, we practice a lot with each other, it's very good to have practice partners. We have some very good players on the team. Schedule practices and whatnot. Don't do all custom practice. Ladder's still, as much as people critique ladder, it's still fairly good practice, especially to, if you're playing like a safe macro style, which I oftentimes may do. It's kind of good to test yourself against all variety of builds. So, we kind of do ladder, but custom map training is very good. And it's pretty nice it's definitely preferable to being solo with having management to take care of some things, and team leagues. Team leagues are pretty fun. I believe we're currently first place in the UASL League, which stands for something. I think that's wrapping up soon, so cheer for us. And all right. So maybe now I should talk about some of my greatest achievements in esports. Well, shit, I don't really have any. Huh. Well, maybe I need to make some up. Actually, I do have a couple things that maybe I'd like to talk about. Actually, recently, WCG Canada online qualifier, I got third place. I lost to Desro twice. I have brought shame to my family. But I do believe that still earned me a seed. And by that I mean the seed is like puts you into the later part of the tournament to the national finals, where then you can win to go to China or something. Although I actually can't go to that for a variety of reasons, so it's kind of irrelevant, but it's still an achievement. I believe I beat my teammate, Saiku. Take that. It was actually in a crazy base trade game on Whirlwind against Ling Muta. Successful base trade against Ling Muta. Write that down in your books. That doesn't happen very often. But so I mean that's kind of a recent thing I did. I guess achievements, kind of on a broad sense. If I'm looking at back at the beta, I look very fondly back at the beta. It was fairly easy to get into GM at the beginning, but near the end, and I believe I may have touched on this earlier, it was swamped with Koreans, and I think I managed to stay top 100 there. And I was playing against Koreans, and I believe I got owned by some NS Hoseo Korean Prodosses like 6 games in a row once. And it was actually very educational of sorts, but I I beat some, played some pretty good players, so that was a good period for me. Um, kind of, I don't think fell off, but just didn't do as well upon release. But I think I've been getting back to a fairly good spot now. Another achievement, I think I've been doing pretty good in team leagues. UISL, we are first place. I already mentioned that. Um, if I were to look at one game specifically, it was week. I don't remember the week. It was our match against Renegades of Hell, and we were up 3-1. It was going fairly well, and I got put. I went in. Was it 3-1? I believe so. I believe that was the score. I ended up going in. PVT Star Station. Yes, that was brutal. So I was behind for the whole bunch of the game. Um, as you would expect, because it's Star fucking Station. I would probably prefer to play on Scrap Station because that map. Oh my god! Um, but I'll not get into that. Um, so I was. It was quite the game. It was quite the game. I believe a VOD's up there somewhere. It ended up being an hour and 20 minutes, and it ended up being like Tempest, Templar, Colossus against like 50 Vikings and Ghosts. And spoilers, Storm won the game. It was it was an hour and 20-minute game, but surprisingly we didn't even come close to mining it out. It was very entertaining, probably one of the most exciting games I've played. Um, and that's about it. I can't really think of much else. So goodbye.